with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News Nowcast.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Mark Salday with the mid-morning check of some of the stories we're watching at Erie News Now. We'll get David Wolter involved with the latest on that very warm first warning forecast that's coming up in a bit. So we begin with two people from northwest Pennsylvania's McKean County. They're currently facing federal charges connected to the deadly Capitol attacks from back in January, and those two are coming off an appearance in federal court on Wednesday. The FBI says they actually used these images to help identify and charge Pauline Bauer of Kane, Pennsylvania, and William Blosser of Ludlow, PA. The feds say Bauer organized a bus trip to that January rally down in D.C. They stopped the Steal rally, as it was called. They say she then illegally entered the Capitol building. And investigators say they have a recording of Bauer responding to someone in the Capitol complex saying, "This is where we find Nancy Pelosi," by saying in a cleaned up version of her alleged quote, "Bring her out, we want to hang her," referring to the House Speaker. Both Bauer and Blosser free on bond this Thursday morning.
We have people scaling the Capitol, hitting the Capitol Police with lead pipes across the head, and we can't get bipartisanship. What else has to happen in this country?
Emotions running high on the House floor. That's Ohio Republican Congressman Tim Ryan with some choice words for dissenting fellow Republicans Wednesday, bashing members of the GOP who voted against that bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th Capitol attacks. Earlier, the House had approved a bill to form that independent commission. 35 Republicans did break with their party's leadership to support the bill, which now faces a pretty uncertain fate in the Senate. Well, the debating, the decision-making when it comes to mask rules, it continues across parts of the country this morning. Two big grocery store chains, though, joining the list of businesses letting their customers go mask-free. Wegmans and Tops both say they're dropping those requirements, at least for fully vaccinated customers. That puts them on the list with major chains like Target, CVS, Walmart, and Starbucks. All of those places are still asking unvaccinated customers to mask up on an honor system basis. Well, the quickly changing rules for masks can have a lot of folks wondering about whether or not they need to wear one in certain situations, like when you're traveling. And that is something a lot of people are looking to do these days as things slowly open back up. Erie News Now's Molly Samora has that story.
I think that more people are vaccinated, so there's more people that are confident about flying and traveling. The airports are busy and crowded. The planes are full.
Executive Director of the Erie International Airport, Derek Martin, tells me travel is starting to pick up at the airport, but it's still not what it used to be.
Things are returning, but it's not anywhere where it needs to be. The business travelers haven't started to fly yet. It's only people that are traveling at leisure. So if you go to an airport, it's just leisure people going to leisure destinations. There's very few business travelers traveling. And so that segment of the business needs to return. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult to be profitable.
Martin informs me that even though business travel isn't happening yet, the flights out of Erie are full.
Went out about 98% to full capacity, all our flights out of the airport. So people are flying.
If you plan to travel anytime soon, he tells me masks are required at the airports until the 13th of September. Molly Samora, Erie News Now.
Elsewhere on your Thursday, it's a not guilty plea to report from an Erie man charged in what authorities say was the hazing death of an Ohio college student. 21-year-old Niall Sweeney of Erie, one of 7 defendants who entered not guilty pleas in an Ohio courtroom on Wednesday. The charges include involuntary manslaughter. It's all connected to the March death of this 20-year-old Bowling Green State University frat pledge. His name's Stone Foltz. Happened at an off-campus frat event. The university did actually expel that Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity. That move came back in April. All right, plans to possibly bring a decommissioned U.S. Navy ship into Erie's Bayfront getting some mixed reaction this morning. Seems not everyone's on board with the idea. The plans call for that Navy frigate, a ship that's more than 450 feet long, to serve as a floating museum and a place for Navy veterans to host events and celebrate their history. Want to put it right on the west side of Dobbins Landing down on the Bayfront. The first part of what they say is a 3-phase process to make it all happen. That, they say, is complete, and word is the ship could be here by the fall of 2022.
The sailors and the Marines that worked on and around these ships, it just became part of them. And so to have something like that here is going to mean so much for our veteran community.
I think that money would be better spent really building a pier for it east of here, either near the Intermodal Center or the mouth of Mill Creek.
Again, these plans not finalized yet. If you've got an opinion on whether you think this Navy frigate should be permanently stationed down on the bayfront, you can head to Facebook and chime in on our story there. All right, David's got the details of another warm day out there.
Yeah, we're down by the bay and temperatures already well into the 70s, almost 80 degrees at this hour. We've noticed some of those clouds painting the sky, but really not expecting any sort of rain chances until possibly we get into the weekend. Upper Peach Street right now. You can see a little late morning traffic out there, 78 degrees. Crank up the AC in the car. I know some folks are trying to push that off as long as possible in the house, but we do have a lot of pollen outside, and obviously allergy sufferers, dry throats, sniffly noses, and all that. That's really been the big issue. And air quality also down a little bit today, so for those folks with respiratory problems, we may have to limit that time outside. Right now, temperatures are in the middle and upper 70s, almost 80 degrees here in Erie, and very mild back towards Warren and McKean County after starting off some spots in the 40s. We're playing ball tonight as the Seawolves continue against Binghamton. Temperatures still very warm by first pitch, only about 74 by the end of the game, so staying really mild through that 3-hour time frame. We're looking at Doppler max clouds staying to the north around this ridge of high pressure that's really locked in place right now. But as it breaks down later on in the weekend, that's going to give us a better opportunity for some of those scattered showers. Now for today, if we would see anything, it would be a very stray shower a little bit later on in the afternoon. Futurecast not really bringing us any sort of wet weather as we continue through the day on Friday. Just those high clouds that will continue to move on through, looking pretty good as we head into the weekend. But the drought situation getting a little worse over time. Here's zone outlook for today. Temperatures into the lower and middle 80s. Lake breeze may limit temperatures just a little bit towards the immediate lake shore, but not feeling bad. If you're going out for a jog, dog walk out there on Presque Isle this afternoon, we're well into the 80s into Crawford as well as Warren County for today. So that summer-like heat continues, and we'll talk about the more disruptive weather that we do have in that 7-day in just a moment.
All right, thank you, David. Well, it's that time of the morning. You may be thinking about a spot to grab some lunch, and I'm going to suggest that you avoid one particular Wendy's restaurant down in Florida. It's the focus of this next story, and it's all about an apparently hangry alligator that was chasing people through a parking lot not too far from that fast food restaurant. This happened Monday down in Lehigh Acres, Florida. Sheriff's deputies and an alligator trapper actually captured that gator in a parking lot. It was across the street from a Wendy's down in that part of Florida. They say this gator was over 7 feet long. It had to be relocated eventually to an alligator farm. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. The sheriff's office was joking about it later, tweeting out, quote, "The gator may have just been hangry for a cheeseburger, but he gave many quite the scare." Wow, 7 feet long. All right. The Los Angeles Lakers postseason run in the NBA with Wednesday's win, and you're in play-in game against the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, it did take basically everything the defending champs and LeBron James had to win it. The final 103-100, and it was that 34-foot-long three-pointer beating the shot clock buzzer with just under a minute to go that really sealed the deal, broke that 100-all tie, and gave LeBron and the Lakers the win over Steph Curry and those Golden State Warriors. All right, David's got the details on that first warning forecast, a weather roll for the month of May. Big time.
I feel like yesterday in the sports world, like Cleveland fans were like,
missed it by that much.
LeBron makes that big shot. Corey Kluber throws the no-hitter in New York, and obviously those guys, former Cleveland athletes. And we are looking at some big summertime heat. Yeah, you really think about baseball season when you got those temperatures into the lower 80s. We're in the 70s over the weekend. We're starting to see those storm chances increase a little bit. Maybe some spotty showers and storms primarily as we get to the hotter hours of the day. And then the next week, yeah, multiple opportunities for some of those soaking showers and storms as temperatures stay on the warm side.
Our next report comes your way at noon on WSEE, and we'll be back at 5 a.m. tomorrow for Erie News Now Sunrise. I'm Mark Salday. Have a great Thursday.